can see me teaching Susie how to do a default down on a mat in order for us to work on relaxation and breathing exercises. You teach a default down by waiting for the dog to presenting the down and then rewarding it. A default behavior just means that you're not cueing it. The dog defaults to it when they're not sure what to do. It can take a little bit of time for the dog to clearly understand when to present the default behavior. This is why I use the mat to make it a little bit easier for Susie to understand that she is supposed to default to a down on the mat, but she can do it in other environments as well, as long as the mat is there. And then you can start to either generalize it to other surfaces that is similar to the mat, or you can phase out the mat. The main reinforcer for the dog is the release cue. So I offer something different to do. Obviously, in the beginning stages, you don't want to make it too hard. You don't want to practice this when the dog is really wants to play, but that's something you can use it for in the future. So I'm giving her treats for staying in the position, for going into the down and then staying in the position. I work on duration, slowly building that skill. Susie has many default behaviors. She knows how to sit as a default, stand as a default, and lay down as a default. I don't really care what she does as long as she knows that a default is the stationary position with no growling, barking involved, which is more of her prior default behavior to bark when she wants something. When we teach this, we need to take it slow. So first we teach the behavior. The dog is supposed to lay down. Teach the dog to lay down without the cue, reward the down. Then we can start to teach duration. We gotta do it slowly. So at first, just stand next to the dog, count a few seconds, then give the treat. Then move one step away, count a few more seconds, give a treat. Then you come to a point where you can start to move away and do something different, like I'm doing here. I move and I sit down. Nothing more advanced than that. It's a very slow process just to teach the dog how to be passive and how to default to this behavior and stay in this behavior until there's more information gathered. So until I give a release cue or until I show her what she's supposed to be doing instead. Breathing exercises can be helpful to lower anxiety, lower stress, get the dogs back to a relaxed emotional state. You move the treat to your forehead and slowly move it towards the dog's face, and then you wait for a flare of the nostrils. You might sometimes want to look at the mouth too. So if you see either the mouth closing or a slight movement of the mouth while the treat moves closer, you are probably doing it right, but you don't want to over focus on the mouth. It's the flare of the nostrils you really want to pay attention to. The reason we don't want to make it consistently harder is because the dog will start to anticipate this consistent rise of the criteria. So they will get either anxious, frustrated, give up, or they might become a little too excited because they're like, oh, so I see the pattern here. This is what we're doing. So if we make it a little bit more unpredictable, and sometimes it's just very easy and sometimes it's a little bit harder, it might be easier for the dog to not go into a pattern with this. So this is not any pattern. This is just teaching the dog to be passive under uncertainty. So the pros of a default behavior is that we teach the dog what to do when they don't know what exactly they're supposed to do. So just a real life example, if you're out on a walk and your neighbor is out on their walk too, and you stop to talk, instead of having a dog that is kind of, hey, what are we doing? Hey, what are we doing? And getting all amped up, they understand, they can read the context that I'm not given a cue, I don't know exactly what to do, and I have learned that when I don't know, I lay down and I wait until I am given more information. So here I am building the skill by tossing treats on the ground, something that she wants, and she stays on the mat until I give her a cue to go get it. So this is a very simplified version of it, but this is how we build the skill for real life.